How's everybody doing?
Great.
So yeah. When we previously we had our group spending a healthy amount of time chatting, going over what each knew, connecting with Kyola, figuring out places to meet, and then eventually deciding that they would go to bed for the evening. And then Annabelle had a dream where she encountered the owl, who maybe insinuated that Annabelle was Shar, or could become Shar. And now, I would say, well, Annabelle, do you think, as that is where your dream ends, do you think you would wake up?
Could I? Is there any chance I could inside check the owl?
I would love for you to attempt to insight check the owl.
I could at least try.
That's just really the subtitle to this entire long series is can I insight check the owl? I would love to see you try.
I got the 9.
The owl is really hard to read.
Yeah. She would wake up immediately from that, though.
It's the middle of the night. I believe you all had individual rooms in this penthouse. Maybe not.
Are we in the same?
Or is this where you were in the kind of like the big group?
Are we in the penthouse with Hazel, or are we back at the inn where we had breakfast?
I assume you stayed at the penthouse with Hazel.
And we were all in the living room.
Okay.
Like city style.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Another question. Sullen, did you ever actually go to sleep?
Oh, tonight?
Yeah.
I feel like he is probably the last one to fall asleep, but I do think that he goes to bed.
Then.
I think like Scotty is like watching you and realizing you're not going to bed right away after others kind of like start petering off. She just sits
everyone
there,
was like,
puts down the hammer, making eye contact with you, casts darkness on the hammer, so the entire room is just shrouded in magical darkness, and you can't see what you're doing.
Out of the darkness, out of the absolute nothing, you hear a disembodied voice go, I can't find my fucking sketchbook.
Stalin, go to bed.
I can't find my sketchbook anywhere.
Go to bed. You'll find it in the
No
morning.
doodling at night. You can't even see in the dark. It's just gonna be a bunch of loops, and then you're drawing on the floor, and then you
I
paint
have
the curtain.
dark vision, human, and...
Magical dark vision? Magical dark vision?
He mutters something in celestial and then goes to bed.
Scotty goes to bed.
Is the middle of the night when you wake up, Annabelle?
I think first things first, she's going to very quietly take a look at her sword and see if it looks how it did in the dream.
Tell me what you're doing to look at your sword.
Just drawing it from its sheath.
As you get ready to draw it from your sheath, like as your hand gets close to the hilt, you feel the power. And like in its sheath, it just looks the same.
Okay.
And as you put your hand on it while it's still sheathed, it looks normal.
Okay.
And if you draw it out, it looks normal. And then you sheath it back. And there's a moment where you kind of like look at your hand and you look at the sword. And then suddenly the sword just appears in your hand. And it matches your dream.
As I'm holding it, I look down at the sheath, see if it's empty.
It's empty.
That's new. I think about it not being in my hand, being in the sheath again.
It's back in the sheath.
All right, that's weird. Talk. Okay. I think she will. Well, since she's awake, she will take the book that she pickpocketed from Sullen and just like slip it under his hand while he's sleeping.
Make me a sleight of hand check.
All right.
Touch the hammer in the middle of the floor.
That's gonna be a 27.
Damn.
Easy peasy. No problem.
Char didn't see that.
And is there a window in this room?
Yeah.
Then I think she would kind of just, because she's not going back to sleep, at least not for a while. And so I think she's just gonna kind of go over to the window and sit there for a while, just kind of looking out aimlessly until she like manages to fall asleep again. Probably an hour or two before until she can't keep her eyes open anymore.
As you look out, it's kind of uncomfortable for you being in a city this large, this bright, even at night, because it's really hard to see the stars.
Mm-hmm.
And as somebody who has lived so long on a ship, being able to see the stars at night is
It's a
kind of-
security thing for her, for sure.
yeah. But eventually, your long day, after many a long day, that exhaustion sits in. And you find yourself back to sleep. A dreamless sleep. And you all wake up eventually. Some having completed a full routine before the others have woken up.
Yep. Yeah. Kind of that hey beauty.
All right. Fresh morning. What would you like to do?
Well, Sullen does wake up with his missing sketchbook just in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
He like puts it in his pocket inside his little overcoat thing. He suspects nothing.
As well, he shouldn't.
Must have just lost track of it.
Can't believe you woke up and did some more reading, Solon. You're supposed to go to bed.
What?
You
It
fell
was-
asleep with the book on your chest.
That was a different book. That was the Valkyr book.
Wait, which one?
Not stop it.
Yeah, you said you have a few. If you're gonna read that
No,
one,
I
can
got
do
one
the
of those.
Valkyrian
next
history book. Thank you. The other one's just pictures anyway.
I still don't know why you're so interested.
Why do you want it?
No, I suspect I know a great deal of what's in it already.
I don't know. Lots of sacrilegious, things can be a little interesting to people from the religion. Are we talking about different books? Never mind.
Smut
Let's go
aside,
find
did we
horses.
have things to do?
And message to Kyola.
Right.
Check in with Kyola, check in with the spies,
What's she-
supply shopping.
If we need to acquire transportation, we should.
Wasn't she a late sleeper? No. I don't recall.
I don't think so.
She was an early riser.
Okay.
Although I think Sheer was onto something with using the eagles again. Might be faster than horses.
Or we can use the sending stone to message Kyola
Oh,
without
yeah.
using spell
That's
slot.
true. Yeah.
Yes.
So let's, Scotty, if you have that,
Start there. Yeah.
ask her where she is, and if there's anything else in
I
your
need to ask her.
I guess if there's more detail about where she is and
ask how old she is. Ask how many years it's been.
It's been
Just trust me. Just
weeks.
ask. No, just ask. Something is
Okay.
weird. Her voice sounded like she'd either aged, like a few years, or perhaps we are getting weirdly younger. It's a Benjamin Button situation. So,
Who?
oh,
I saw this, picture book thing where like the image projects itself out of the. Never mind. Magical household. We entertain ourselves. Anyway.
right. More detail on
So
her
then-
location.
Also, then, yeah. So, asking Kyola for a little bit more specific location. Then, next question, I think, are we doing the flying thing, or are we getting horses?
Probably.
The flying is
Like-
going to be faster, and we can't take horses with us.
Flying it is then.
If Sheer is willing, I think it's a good idea.
I mean, if we get in trouble, don't let me get killed when I've used all my spell slots.
Is there any way we
Can
can
do.
Protect you.
teleport?
There's
I'm
definitely not a.
800 old.
We don't really know where we're going.
Yes,
Yeah,
but
if we
we also need to get to Rosenberg, and we've been to Rosenberg before. Or not
We're in
Rosenberg.
Rosenberg.
No.
Brockenstein?
Brockenstein, which is next to the keep that we need to be in, right?
Mm,
Am I insane?
That's
Sorry.
well,
other
they're still going opposite
Yeah.
directions.
That
aren't
way.
they?
Brockenstein was
Opposite
close to the
directions, yeah.
cave. Istravar was the two keeps, and then there's a Scalane's keep on the
So-
other side of Sherwood Forest.
The cave that we need to get to for Annabelle's weapon is in Brockenstein, correct?
Yes, it's north of Brockenstein.
Yeah,
Right,
it's
yes.
closest to, yeah.
Is there a way that we could get a teleportation scroll from Sherwood Forest to Brockenstein?
Maybe.
I don't know if anyone like specifically sells them in Sherwood Forest. That seems like something more we'd get in Rosenberg.
We'd get here, yeah, because we were talking about like running errands and stuff.
You're proposing having a scroll on hand in case we want to use it in the future.
Yes.
Where's this?
Got it.
Oh.
Then we can look.
We can ask. It might be quite expensive, but
Yeah.
I don't remember how much it was last time.
still, yeah, it was extremely useful. last
It was useful, yeah.
Well, if they have it on hand, it's probably gonna be marked up because it sounds like between
Probably.
King Stefan and the Mardanian forces gathering up, there's a bunch of different
Right.
skirmishes happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gigi was telling us.
Right.
Still worth looking, worth asking.
hmm And we should stop by there looking for any sort of healing potions too before we go.
Right. All right, well, sending first.
Sure.
Counting words.
Take your time then.
Like DM rolling, just nothing.
Oh, no. I do think at some point while everybody is rustling around, Bjorn probably just in passing to Solon says, "You can ask if you ever want to."
Bjorn, you should know me by now. I have roughly 700 questions brewing in my brain at any given time.
No,
You mean about
I've discouraged
That
you
king.
before. I just mean about
that king in your
Tattoos.
family and the fact that I think that they were probably murdered and that you were probably there to either escape it or witness it, but it seems rather painful, so I try not to bring it up.
I guess if that's the direction you want to take. I meant everything. I've just discouraged you before. That's all.
Bjorn, I hope for one day when you don't wait for someone to ask and you just offer. Because people care about you.
I'll work on it.
But now, tell me what's on your mind.
Nothing. It was a passing offer. That's all.
Was I right?
Well, you proposed several theories, but you're not too far off the mark with all of them.
I'll ask you again later.
All right.
He, pats the little place where he drew the rune in the center of your chest.
I think Bjorn is just slightly surprised because he's used to Sullen not touching anybody, even though that has changed more recently, but he's still he's stuck on it. But carries on about his business.
Are we heading out? Are we going shopping?
Okay, while that is happening, Scotty
What's the
pulls
name?
out the stone, turns it on.
Whisper
Getting
sweet
supply-
nothings. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Turns it on. Yeah.
I got there. It took a second. Getting supplies. Leaving today by Eagle. Location of your home and forest. Landmarks. Directions. Hope you are well. How many years since you saw us?
Oh, I'm fine. Been living in Omakasa's place. Made some changes. Easiest way would be to try to not look for it.
I knew it.
There's a lot of creatures here that shouldn't be.
Meanwhile, bullshit.
This guy's like counting. Well, guess it hasn't been too many years since she saw us. She says she's living in Omakasa's place. Easiest way to find it is try not to look for it. That weird door situation.
That
We would do that, yeah.
is supremely unhelpful.
She also said there's a lot of creatures there that shouldn't be. So probably more of the veils getting thinner all around.
I'm not surprised.
More of knots popping up where they shouldn't be.
Well, I guess let's get out there and not look for this house.
Yeah.
Supply run, really quick. Can we just roll to see if we do health potions, or I'm assuming
You're able to
Yeah, we can-
find 3 regular health potions and 1 superior.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
What's the damage?
Standard.
I forget. Did we buy health potions last time we were here? I didn't mark them down.
Not
Not when we were looking for curse things, no.
No,
Okay.
but the time before it, we might have got. I think we maybe got one from Gigi, but I think it was standard.
Yeah.
Cause.
It's not in my inventory, so not my responsibility.
I have one regular in my inventory, but that's it.
I have one regular as well.
I have a superior, but that's from Vafir.
50 for the regulars a piece, and
Okay.
then 2,000 for the superior.
Okie doke.
So 2,150. Okay.
You guys want to split that 5 ways?
You sure?
How much?
Yeah, I can do
One
that.
total.
Per person, that's 430.
Okay.
Thank you for doing that math.
Yep, I had it up.
I have a question.
Mhm.
Before we leave, I have one errand that I'd like to run. Does word of recall and like this is I'm trying to figure out how it works. Trying to figure out how it works as a spell in raw. I'm not asking for an extra ruling. Do I cast word of recall in an area and then again to get us back to it? Or do I have to cast sanctuary and then word of recall to get back to the sanctuary? Because the wording is strange. It says up to you and 5 willing creatures within 5 feet of you instantly teleport to a previously designated sanctuary.
Yes, so
So you
would
cast.
sanctuary on a
Sanctuary.
place.
Okay.
Because that's how I think that was a Caduceus
A sanctuary is a
thing.
first level spell. Like it's super easy.
Yeah, so you're marking the spot.
Right.
How long does it take to cast it?
It takes 1 minute to cast sanctuary.
Oh shit.
But word of recall takes, I think it's instantaneous.
The sanctuary
Yes, it
just
is.
lasts
One action.
indefinitely, or does it?
It can be destroyed, I think. But sanctuary is you ward a creature against attack until the spell ends. It consumes a silver mirror. It is not a concentration. So like that's where I'm getting tripped up.
Wait, okay.
Oh, well,
hang on.
Oh,
Sanctuary is a first level spell.
the article links to the spell sanctuary, which is different than a location sanctuary.
It's saying you must designate a sanctuary by casting the spell within a location. So
Right,
It
so
sounds like it's you have to
You cast word of
Word of
recall,
Recall.
and then you cast word of recall again.
Yeah.
Sounds
okay.
like it. Yeah,
But word of recall has no cost.
that's pretty fucking nice.
Nice.
However, it does
So-
have to be in a location of your deity.
Right. So my question, if we've ironed that out, my question is, may I go to either Sullen's house and find something that is associated with my deity in his parents' shop that is like hidden-ish? Or can we go back to that jewelry store where we initially met the owl and find something before we leave?
I will say at your at your parents' shop, you'll probably be able to find something.
Okay.
They had all the flags of all the different deities,
Mhm.
didn't they, outside?
Yeah.
They have a lot. Yeah, they have like every deity known to Rosenberg et al.
Mhm.
And some that are unknown.
But for flavor, we're gonna hand wave some of this. Sullen, you actually go back to the diamond shop or the jewelry store,
Okay.
and you don't see Tito in there. You see this little old woman behind the desk.
Can I kind of like just wave at her?
She's just pleasant, waves back.
Is there any recollection?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Almost as if Tito made that encounter happen,
Mhm.
and that this is not Tito's shop.
Gonna tell Annabelle later that the coffee was a ruse. Okay. I assume that I've told the party that I'm gonna run a quick errand real fast.
Yeah, it seems Scotty's off doing
You want
supply
someone
shopping.
with you?
Sure, you can. Yeah, anybody can come with if they want to. I'm just gonna very sneakily do something.
Oh, for inventory, who's taking what healing potions before we forget?
I was gonna
True.
I was
Sorry.
gonna do that in chat if you wanna.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
We can do it later.
But yeah, we can.
Okay. Before I go, I have a way to get us back here, which hopefully, if we have to go anywhere, once we get there, then we can cut out a couple of days' time.
That would help.
So, I have to sneak into my parents' shop and cast a spell, and it only takes a second, but they can't know that it's there because they'll pick it up and they'll move it, and it'll be weird, but it has to be stationary, and they can't mess with it. I need a distraction. Bjorn.
Yes.
Flirt with my mom.
Can I skip the flirting? She just likes me as a normal person. I mean,
Okay,
we were
fine.
gonna buy things from them anyways. So
Yes.
Oh, okay.
if they
All
have
right.
healing potions, but
yeah, true. But
Cool.
breakfast pastries.
She always has pastries. We need to stop paying her for those. She never charges. It's not fair.
Usually leave a gold on the counter, but
That's good. Okay. Healing potions.
we distract GG.
You don't get them all at Gigi's shop, but like, because
Yes.
y'all pretty much like
cleaned her out.
cleaned her
Yes.
out, and yeah, but
We buy pastries.
yes, and Sullen, make me a stealth check.
Can I guide myself?
Sure.
Maybe. Okay.
You can do it. Make me proud.
All right. Okay. That's a 7. Plus 2. We got a 9.
All right.
Hit me with it.
Be helping at all? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if you're running interference and distraction, then go ahead and roll it again. I don't know why it's not loading.
I got an 11 and
Beats the 10.
with a 2, I got a 13.
Here we go.
Better.
Unlucky 13.
I mean, you think that no one noticed it?
Where's my frickin' mustachioed dad? Where is he?
You know, he's kind of bumbling about, nose in a book.
All right. Yeah, he's not very perceptive. All right, I find the flag. I do a little and, wave my hands around it. Maybe Sullen takes a ink from his quill that he uses to scribble down all of his little notes, because he uses a quill now, I guess, and draws the runes on the back of the flag, and it absolutely steeps through a little bit because it's ink. And he wanted it to be permanent, but it fuzzes around the edges and starts to dry, but it's there. And it's on the flag from his parents' deity. His deity now.
Yeah. It's there.
Okay. Marking off his 6th level.
Oh boy.
All right, and you secure some pastries and any other kind of easy to come by supplies you can get on your way.
Snacks for the road.
New fine outfit.
Mm.
The important stuff.
New outfit for every adventure. Very important.
Yeah.
You have to get
New
one
character-
that's
like character
Sherwood
design.
appropriate.
Yeah, it's got some greens in there this time a little bit. More fall.
Hey,
Well, it's convenient that I
Sullen.
bought a bunch of romance novels so that we can give them to Kyola.
She will appreciate
Pro
that.
circle,
Yeah.
pro circle.
Yeah.
Sheer, Sullen, do you guys have health potions?
I will take a normal one.
Okay, normal one to Sheer.
I have a potion of heroism.
So
I have
someone
a
will take
potion
one
of fire
also.
resistance. I have one potion of healing.
All right, you have one potion of healing. Okay. Then scratch that. Scott, you will take a regular since she already has a superior. And do we want to give the other superior to Bjorn or Annabelle since Annabelle is field medic?
Whichever.
Annabelle. Annabelle.
Doesn't matter to me. Give it to Annabelle.
Okay.
I'll take it.
And then Bjorn gets the third regular. Okay, there we go. Potions distributed. Carry on. Thank you.
One thing
All
you
right.
do notice as you're running through town, you can't help but overhear that people are talking about, like, you hear this, like, it's so weird. Like, I swear I put my tea on the stove this morning and then it's gone. And then you hear things about like I saw the weirdest bird in the sky the other day. And there's just little smatterings here and there of like odd occurrences, weird creatures, like things happening. And then you head out of town.
That's just a little thin everywhere. So as I turn the Vikings into giant eagles.
And you
I
fly.
take- Annabelle and Sheer and fly off.
Yeah.
We have our little eagle conversation.
What do you mean my mom's a Valkyrie?
I don't know.
It doesn't make sense.
We're just
Maybe she
hearing
just
cause
didn't
back
tell
and
you.
forth.
Yeah, you
Cause
guys
and
are
effect.
listening like,
They're talking about something, but
Yeah, I mean, at least they're having fun, I guess. I don't know,
Guess so.
eagle.
yeah, they're entertaining themselves at least. That's something.
Yeah.
Better than asking if we're there yet the whole time.
Which Scotty would be doing. That's why I always make her an eagle.
Fair enough.
All right.
Valkyrie, this whole time, she could have taken us to battlefields. We could have so much better field trips. We could have gone beyond the freaking village.
we
We
were
could have
like
been
10 years
fighting-
old. She's not going to take you to a field trip.
I could still escort people to places beyond.
Maybe I should make them dumber birds next time.
Is there anything dumber than an eagle? That
lot
like
of
flies
things.
as fast.
Do we as eagles understand them?
I don't think so.
Polymorph, so you have bird brains
Yeah.
instead of like
Okay.
it's not wild shape.
Can I reverse engineer the ring of speak to animals?
They
humans.
understand
Humans.
common.
Yes,
Okay.
humanoids.
Yes.
Okay.
So we like look back and go, "Ah."
What?
Dip.
Ah!
All right.
All right. So we'll kind of hand wave this, and it'll take, because how far can eagles? We're not going to do the whole thing, but like, how far can they fly on a single polymorph?
It's polymorph an hour, 18 miles an hour.
Okay, we'll just say that it takes you a hand wave. It takes a full day to get you to Sherwood. What?
Nothing.
Fine, it takes you a full 2 days to get to Sherwood, and
No.
Thank you.
I mean,
I'm just looking at the map. Is all I'm doing.
fine.
And
It
now
takes
I'm
you a
backseat DMing.
full 2
No, we're gonna
days.
too. We're
no,
good. Yeah.
No. You,
Oh,
you brought
she's
this
gonna
on
keep
you.
upping the days. She's keep.
she's gonna keep making it worse. I'm gonna stop here.
Okay, sorry.
It's gonna take you a full 2 days. You have one night. We'll do watches, and then
All right, so we're in agreement. It was 2 full nights.
Mm-hmm.
2 full days.
Full days.
2 full
So 1
days.
day.
So you'd get there at the night that you could either camp and then continue on, or
Yeah. Can we
All right,
set
so-
down somewhere that seems like a good camping location at the edge of the forest?
sure. You've
Okay.
been kind of at the edge of the forest before. Like, it wasn't until you got in the forest that you got into some trouble.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the end of the second night of traveling, we're on the evening of the second of Hammer.
Okay.
Scotty excited, her favorite month.
Yeah.
It's hammer time.
Oh
No.
God, no. With that, Cher just
Spotify is
digitates the
opening.
tent open. I mean, we're the definition of not looking for something if we're asleep, so
More of a
Finger
kind
guns.
of put it in your periphery as we're
Yeah, keep an eye out for
then.
things on the edges of your vision that don't seem like they were there before.
Keep an eye out for.
It's
You're gonna have to run that one past me
counterintuitive.
again.
But it's if you try and focus on looking for it, you won't see it. It only shows up in your periphery, out of the corner of your eye.
Okay.
If you look right at it, you won't see it.
All right.
And it moves around, so
okay. Well, I will see it in 4 hours then, or not, and I go to sleep.
Well,
Wait, what? I'm like unbraiding my hair.
how close do we need to be? Because at this point, I could probably try and locate person if you think we're close enough.
You're like right on the edge. Can't hurt. Wait, no, it consumes something? Is that what's going on?
I don't think so. Let me look.
Oh.
Do they have to be on this plane? Because the door may be on this plane, but I don't know if the actual house is.
I'm not sure.
That's
yeah,
a
it
good
might be some
question,
kind of
actually.
One
pocket
second.
dimension.
It's weird. Because you can't even see the door, but the house is definitely not there.
No, if I had to guess, it would be a pocket dimension situation.
California.
Who knows?
As you're on the edge of the forest, you notice that before, when 3 of you had entered this forest, there was almost an ominous vibe to it. But you get a sense of tranquility this time.
Huh.
Seems a little more pleasant than it used to, or am I seeing things?
No, it does feel different. I wasn't sure if it was just me, but yeah. It does. There's something different about it.
Maybe Kyola's presence has helped a little?
I can't imagine her presence not cleaning some things to act up.
Maybe she kicked Omakos to the curb and that helped clear it up.
I sincerely hope
I
so.
can see that, yeah.
I can see that too.
Are y'all setting up watches at all?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Who's my first watch?
I'll volunteer. Why not?
How many watches are we doing?
3.
Standard 3.
3?
Our standard.
I'll
I
watch
can go first with you.
Oh, okay, go ahead. Take it. Take
Okay.
the bug.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead and make me some perception checks, or one of you can roll at advantage.
You have a super high perception. I forget. I have a plus.
I've got pretty good eyes.
Okay.
Yes.
I have a +5. but
Also,
I'm
I can see in the dark.
True. Okay, I will just help you.
And that's going to be a natural 20 for a total of 30.
Oh, gee whiz.
I see all.
Yeah, you see all. Why is this not refreshing for me? Anyway, yeah, you see all, and it's fairly uneventful, other than like you definitely hear critters, like normal woodland critters about. And it's odd to you, but like it should be really cold right now. Like for this time of year, it should be cold. But like it's almost as if the forest is warm. Like it's cool. Like a spring evening. And come to think of it, the forest is pretty green.
Mm-hmm. Kind of just elbow Bjorn and nod towards the forest. Is it just me, or is it greener than it should be?
Now that you say it, I suppose so. At this time of year, it seems like more of the trees would be missing leaves, that sort of thing.
And warmer too. Can you feel it? Feel that?
Yeah. It's funny that I hadn't thought about it, but yeah, it seems warmer the closer you get to the trees.
Like, usually this isn't my thing, but this is weird. Like, I can notice things out on the water, but this is not usually. But this is weird.
I mean, it's hard to know whether the forest has always been like this. It seems like there's more magic in it than most, but then again, maybe it's the world changing.
Yeah.
Things getting thinner.
Kyola did say that things were a little weird. You're right. And when Scotty messaged her this morning.
Right. And there was all that chatter in town as well.
About all the weird shit, yeah.
Yeah. Has the feeling of the Feywild, doesn't it?
Wasn't gonna say it, but yeah.
I like scritch the cat and be like, what do you think? Just force your DM to make cat noises.
Annabelle, you also swear that you see a fox wearing a little green hat, but then you blink and it's not
Again!
there.
Keep that one to myself.
Tosses beef jerky to the cat. Oh, no. Hangs out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we will wake up the others when we're done.
Mm-hmm.
Bjorn will walk over and very gently touch Sullen very briefly.
Like nudge Scotty with my boot.
Uh,
Morning.
Bjorn goes
Marna.
next.
Someone goes back to sleep.
You sleep. You do watch with Sheer. I'll do.
Sullen.
No, Sheer. He can do watch with Sheer.
I'll throw something at him.
Am I waking up or not?
Healing.
Yes.
Get up.
Get up.
Okay. He like grabs Bjorn for a second, realizes he's touching him, and then stops, and then gets up and does the thing.
Not much to report. The forest seems a little odd, but we
Yeah.
What do you mean odd?
greener,
Like it's in the
warmer.
wrong time of year.
It's a fuck forest. It's gonna be
Yeah, but it's
green.
green.
It's
Look at it.
winter.
I forgot. God, it's cold. Okay.
Not
Like-
the forest, it isn't.
Hazy green. It's not cold here?
Just
Just take
what
a
is the
second and
common
feel it.
word? Verdant.
The
Right.
leaves are greener than they should be.
Okay. Time fuckery, I assume.
Probably.
My guess is
Investigate.
Feywild.
Who is
Alright,
it?
Scotty. Got
Alright.
some leaves to investigate.
Night.
Don't investigate too hard.
Don't die. Good night.
Also good.
Puts on the night vision goggles.
Pretends to put on night vision goggles.
We got this.
All right. Either one of you with advantage or you both give me your perception checks.
How is your perception, Scotty?
On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm at 3.
Like a +3 or?
Plus 3.
Okay, I will give you advantage because mine is not great.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, I lied.
Also, night vision goggles.
Perception.
Perception? I have a +4.
I'll give you advantage then.
Okay. Wow. This is new. Oh, it's not great. Oh, I
What'd
tried
you
to roll it with...
Where'd you
Hold
get?
on, that was not advantage.
Right? Click it.
I did.
How rude.
I know. I got a 21. It's a dirty 21.
Okay. Again, your watch is fairly uneventful. Also similar seeing woodland creatures. You swear for a moment though that you see a bear smoking? And you're like, no, I absolutely did not see that.
Define smoking.
Like, it's got
Like-
a J.
Oh, yeah. Does this look familiar?
Maybe to Scotty, but I don't know that it does to Sullen.
I'm going to point it out to Scotty and be like, that's weird. But, you know, try
that's-
not to make like direct eye contact. And to our 2 o'clock. Looks a little odd, don't you think?
Oh, no. That's the guy. That's the guy.
What do you
we were
mean
telling
that's
him
the
before?
guy? What guy?
Okay. So last time we were here, a dude died, but then Kyla wished him back. But when she wished him back, he got turned into a fox with a hat. I really hope he's doing well because I can't imagine a fox, like a human that was a fox, doing really well in this kind of environment. But then so we were trying to follow him, and then we came across this field of all these other talking animals, and one of them was a bear just chilling. And Kyla was like, gave him some smoke to smoke with him. And I think like the bear offered mushrooms or something. I don't remember. It was a while ago. That's the guy.
The fox is the bear now? Or the bear?
No. The bear was always a bear.
The bear was always a bear. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
I mean, he may have been a dude before
Shh.
that dude, but
Should
only
we
ever
say hello? Is this a friendly?
he was very chatty last time.
What's both of your passive perceptions?
14.
14.
Okay.
Wait, no, 13. I lied.
As you're having this conversation, a little raccoon comes up to you.
Do I recognize the raccoon? Do I recognize the raccoon?
I mean, it looks very familiar to you. But I mean, how confident are you at being able to distinguish raccoons?
Not confidently. However, she is going to be just utterly convinced every raccoon they come across is going to be Bolin until they find Bolin. So she's going to hold out some treats and just be like, Bolin! Hey, buddy, how you been?
It seems to kind of respond to you. You can't tell if it's responding to the name or if it's responding to the treats.
I'm going to pretend it's to the name. Hey there, buddy, how you been? How's your mom?
And then,
I'm going to turn on the ring of animal talking. Bolin, buddy, is that you?
I'm Bolin Jr.
Bolin had a son! You are adorable!
Well, technically, I mean, I'm Bolin the 5th, but...
Bolin had 5! 5, maybe more! Oh.
Well, I mean, there's been multiple generations.
Do you all go back to visit Kyola? Is she still around? Do you know where she's at?
I'm assuming she's at her house.
Do you know how to get there? Are we getting close?
I mean, you're a little ways off, but...
Here, buddy, have more treats that she's going to keep pulling him out.
Oh.
Is Scotty speaking raccoon right now and
Yes,
is
it's
therefore
all- it's
unintelligible
just
to
all
Sullen?
squeaks.
Okay.
All squeaks.
Alright,
And the
alright.
raccoon
I'm
is
trusting her.
responding in turn.
Squeak,
Just-
squeaker, squeak.
Squeaking.
I am fluent in woodland creatures for like 10 minutes.
I am sketching this interaction happening. I am committing this to memory.
So, how you been, little guy? Tell me everything. Like, you just hanging out in the woods? Going out to have fun?
Well, I'm technically breaking curfew right now.
You scoundrel. Good job.
Thank you.
Are you on a mission?
No, should I be?
I mean, it makes breaking out curfew all the better because then, you know, it's a perfectly good reason to be fighting crime.
Well, I
and
was
protecting
going to try to
others.
find John and see if he had anything to smoke, but...
I did see him around. I think he was off in that direction, I think.
Oh! And it runs off.
Bye! And yeah, like, turn off the ring. I was like, Bolin's had a son! He's had 5 sons!
What?
Maybe more! Kyola's raccoon, Bolin.
Oh, okay.
That was Bolin 5.
5 son? Isn't that a long time?
I don't know. I mean,
Well, I'm sorry, I don't know very much about gestation periods for raccoons, but that seems like quite a long period
I guess
of
it
time.
could be per generation, or it could be, like, you know...
No, wait, 5 generations. That's like that's years.
I guess technically Bolin would be the first, so it would be 4 generations.
Bolin
Because if Bolin had a son, the first one would be the second, and then Bolin the second had a son, that'd be Bolin the third, and then Bolin the third had a son, that'd be Bolin the fourth.
Right, okay, so if we're assuming that there's 365 days in a year, and they immediately, well, they'd have to get a year old before that. That's at least 5 years. Ish. Maybe 4, if they're, like, really going at it like rabbits. I don't know how raccoons work. I also don't need to know.
Don't know the gestation period of raccoons, but I feel like it could be shorter. I don't think
A
it's
little
annual.
birdie told me it was like 65 days.
Oh shit. They get quick.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
that's, yeah, Kyola didn't leave that long ago.
no.
So,
Maybe she fell into a, like, maybe there's just a pocket around here where the time's a little weird. Or
She didn't
maybe,
tell
like, if she
you-
just chilling in Omakas's house in that pocket, it was just really weird.
she didn't tell you how old she was, did she?
No, she did not. And
Did she
used
say how-
exactly 25 words, too, and did not answer that question.
Right. She probably didn't feel like it, which is valid also, you know, they're
Mhm.
asking people their age.
Maybe she couldn't remember. Or felt it was a stupid question that didn't warrant a response.
It's been years.
You sure? I mean,
Well, don't know very much about, the sexuality of...
Bolin could have just taken 5 wives.
Good for
And then-
him.
Yeah.
I hope that worked out for him. Oh no. Well, we should let them sleep, I guess. He seemed really friendly, like really nice to you, or at least really excited about the treats. Can you tell which one it was?
I'm going to assume it was about me. But it was probably
I think
the
it was
treats.
probably about you. No, you're very charismatic and very kind and very good with
Thank you.
animals. Of course. Oops, all Bolins.
Yes! Honey Heist, let's go! We have to go find John is the quest.
To
Well,
get some smoke.
Who's
Yes.
John? Why smoke what? Who's John?
John's the bear.
Oh,
Little John.
well, should we talk to John?
Is the smoking bear still in the corner?
No.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, he's moved. He
Oh,
relocated.
well, that's all right.
He had to go find his necessities.
Those simple necessities.
Pretty pared down,
Mm.
One might say they were a bear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All
Well, I'll
right.
keep an eye if you want to do some research.
I don't know that I have anything in these books. I don't have any, raccoon snacks or other lures. What do bears like? Nuts, berries, honey.
Oh, I know you just seemed really,
Soup.
really adamant on reading when we were back in town, but we just want to make sure that you got some sleep before we hit the road.
Oh, right. No, hold on. Here. Stalin pulls out the book with all of the Valkyrian history in it and flips to the section about Valkyrie. Is there anything in here about their celestial heritage? Yeah.
All right. So,
He puts it in Scotty's lap and proceeds to like go line by line as he's sort of reading.
give me 2 seconds.
Okay.
So, okay, the question that I'm going to propose to you out of character here is how many raccoons are there in a raccoon litter?
That is a good question.
That was my
Although
first
if it's all
assumption,
generations, though,
sons.
if it's generations, though, that suggests that it is like the kid of the kid of the kid of the
Vertical.
kid.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's 5 generations.
I
But,
was
like,
just thinking Game
how-
of Thrones, where it was just like they just keep naming people the same fucking name in each family.
Well, this is what I'm saying. They
I mean,
could
there's
name
that
all of
too.
each generation
But-
Bolin because the raccoons don't know any other names for the raccoons.
That's
What I would
just
like
what
to
they think they're
propose-
called. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just, I'm
Special
just imagining.
episode where we all play Crash Pandas
Yes.
as Bolins. Every
Yes.
oops, all Bolins.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
Fantasy
Sherwood
Wikipedia is
Forest Crash
saying
Pandas.
2 to 5 babies in a litter. So
What's is it like 1 litter per year, or is it like several litters per year?
Well, if,
once they have reached age, which is a little less than a year, it seems, they
About 2 months.
can
is the
presumably
pregnancy.
have babies every 3 months.
but
so,
you
like,
need to
But you have to
re-strengthen your
raise the
pelvic floor.
Babies.
Yeah.
yes.
Give them some time.
Give him a break. Come on.
But all I'm saying is that hypothetically, every raccoon in the forest could be named Bolin.
God, there's a fucking army of them.
I'm just kind of
all
imagining
have little
Kyola
hats.
just like
Of course
Bolin.
they do.
Bolin, Bolin.
They
But
either
like
have
it's a
little
different
hats or,
tonation. Like
little
she knows,
pants, like-
she can tell them apart, but she just names them all Bolin, but a different tone for each one.
Yeah, no, this
we
one
go.
is Bolin.
Yeah. This
He'll
one,
be giving us the
Bolin.
hot, fresh
yeah.
fact.
Fantasy Wikipedia, aka PLB.
Yeah.
So it seems like a litter a year is common.
Thank you for this Lord's service.
So there's a few of them.
Yeah, so there are a lot of Bolins.
Oops, all Bolins.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
Do you
game for
think
this
that
one
some-
shot. Let's go.
At some point, they start misinterpreting their own name and it becomes like slightly different. Like it's like one letter off.
Balling.
go.
Bolin. Sorry.
one of them called that.
Yeah.
He wears his hat backwards.
God.
Okay, Balin is just a character from The Hobbit.
From the
By the
Hobbit.
way, Sheer, whenever you want to jump in on this conversation, because you like technically
I've been
you wake up
awake,
halfway
yeah.
through second watch.
Yeah, she just hears them
Join
out there,
in.
like just
talking about
talking.
raccoons. Raccoon gestation, like
Yep.
Just rebraiding my hair. Like, what the fuck's a bowlin?
Why do they they need so many fucking raccoons?
So you never forget their names.
Well,
I'm asleep. I'm not in this conversation.
yeah, I mean, I would come out with my hair rebraided since you guys took a slightly longer. Well, okay, if you're done talking about forest rats, y'all can go to bed.
Well, I assume like halfway through a watch if you want to join in and like hang out and chat.
Yeah.
And then we go to bed.
Yeah,
So,
vibe.
you don't have to. You can come hang out with
You have
us.
to if
We
you
can
want to.
chat.
Up to you.
Now I feel peer pressured.
Good.
So
my specialty.
as you flip there, it's not quite like it does. While the word celestial it doesn't appear in the tome. Like you hear of these women, women warriors who pledged their life and their afterlife to Odin, and that they are responsible for, like Bjorn mentioned, carrying souls who died an honorable death in battle to Valhalla. You also read how that sometimes the Valkyries can be called upon to change the tides of war if soldiers or leaders are able to curry Odin's favor. So sometimes warriors will pray to Odin, but sometimes there's a mix of praying directly to the Valkyries themselves to be able to join them and fight along battle. It's interesting because this, especially with Valkyrian legends and Valkyrian history, it's not just a straight history textbook. A lot of what you read comes in the forms of like traditional mythology, where you're getting tales of stories of gods, of the gods' encounters, and these hold greater meaning. And you do read a story about how one Valkyrie was able to give up her immortal life because there was a man who made her laugh. And she enjoyed his company on the battlefield. And he was sweet, but it wasn't his time to come. But she wanted to stay with him. And so she stayed.
I assume that Scotty is reading over someone's shoulder. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What do you make of that?
Well, my dad always makes my mom laugh, and that's her favorite thing about him. And they always used to say, oh, and Valkyr, there's an old tradition to propose to someone is you challenge them. And whoever you're challenging picks the fight. And my mom likes to tell how she picked in a way that she would lose because she wanted to marry my dad because he made her laugh all the time.
What was the fight? It's okay if you didn't make it up. It's alright.
I forget it was in the backstory notes, but it's been a really long time.
That's okay. That's okay. That's okay.
Do you remember, Jess? You remember that foot? That's all I remember.
That's really sweet.
This was never supposed to come up. This was something I just threw in there.
Haha, joke's on you.
Yeah. That's
Fight
what I
pit.
get. Yeah.
I found it. It was fight pit.
It was fight pit. Oh, yeah, she must have lost fight pit then. Yeah, she must have picked something that he was better at than her, and because she purposely picked the fight so he had the advantage.
Very difficult for me to imagine.
I feel like she threw the fight.
That feels better. That feels more right.
I feel like
yeah.
she threw the fight because she wanted to be with him.
Yeah. But he threw down the challenge. And she accepted.
Yes, that's it. He threw it down and he knew he would lose, but he wanted
Mhm.
to try, and she let him win.
So, your parents fought, and your mom seems to be resurfacing in dreams. Oh, sound a
Yeah.
little bit like this legend, don't you think?
Maybe they are more than dreams. Maybe it is something a little bit more than it. I mean, that's pretty badass that she gave that up. Be with him.
Scotty, it's badass for you. It means you're a demigod, kind of. Or you have some celestial something in your blood.
Oh, I was always just happy to be my mom's daughter. She was always badass before.
My mom was a kick-ass too.
Yeah.
But I think this kind of explains it.
Oh, I'm just glad that the white hair isn't after shocks of being in the Feywild or time hopping for too much. I'm not getting old too quick. This is
You're
good.
not getting old, you're ascending, literally becoming a Valkyrie.
Oh God! Gods!
And listen, I don't think that you are what your parents are. I think that you're an individual. You're someone else entirely.
Thank
But
you.
you're in a history book. Literally, that my father had and didn't even know it. Do you know how hard he would fangirl over you?
He'd fangirl over my mom.
No, I think it might be you.
Earns my place yet. But I will.
I think you're getting there.
I'm trying. But thank you, Sullen. Thanks for
Yeah.
digging that out and looking it up.
It's just a couple pages. I didn't even write them.
But you remembered. You read it. You kept it in there. And then when it was useful, you pulled it out.
I kind of try. It's hard to pull information out of the vault all the time.
Oh, we appreciate it. You've helped our asses a lot of times and helped solve a lot of things.
Thank you.
But we're gonna go.
Do you need a Valkyrie name? Do Valkyries get fancy names, fancy titles? Anything like that?
Oh, they usually just kind of go by their names.
Cool.
They carry their own weight.
You get wings.
Oh, I hope so. That'd be so cool.
Well, didn't Iona have wings on her helm?
That's what Bjorn said, yeah.
I think that you need to put that brother of yours to work. You're going to need some new armor.
Oh, it would flatten the hair, though. But it would
I'm sure that
be
he can
cool.
design something that would make
Just
it
like
so...
a mohawk opening.
You know, the visors that, like, don't have a top?
Listen, if they could do it for Loki.
They'll figure something out.
All right. Your watch comes to a close. Third and final watch.
Not this year.
You want to join us halfway through? very muted.
Well, I feel like you guys you did it. So I'll just do my set. Oh, nope. Rolled real well as usual, though. 10.
Double digits.
Yeah, it's really calm. Like, there's critter noises. It's warm. Shouldn't be warm.
It's frizzy. I don't like that.
No critters come up to you, though.
That's fine. Just sitting there then doing my usual thing and paying about a 10's worth of actual attention to my surroundings.
And then morning comes. All have completed a long rest.
Ta-da! Well, into the forest we go, unless there was anything interesting to report.
Bolin the Fifth said that we're still a bit a ways from Kyola's place.
Oh.
Oh, I met Bolin the Fifth last night. Bolin had sons.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's been long enough for there to be that many generations of raccoon?
Yeah.
Oh, I just assumed it was all one family and they all just got named Bolin, but you just kept numbering them to keep them track.
We don't know.
We-
But we also saw Little John, the bear.
Yes.
All right.
So what? I did say I didn't mention it, Bjorn, because I thought I was maybe saying things, but I did see a fox wearing a hat. Kind of just
Hey,
go past.
He's
I
okay.
guess that's good.
Yeah, I guess he's all right then.
Living his best life.
Still wearing the hat? All right.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess we gotta just trek into the woods and don't look for a door.
Well, I guess if we see any more raccoons, we should ask for their directions.
I'm
Yeah.
explaining the relevance of the raccoon to Sheer, just to make sure we're all on the same page
Yeah.
in the background while this is happening.
Yeah, she's absolutely looking at all of you like you are high. She's just. So there's a.
Well, the
fox in
bear
the-
was high, yes.
So there's a
And the
bear
fox
running around
thing, yeah,
smoking,
Yes.
and generations of raccoons.
Yes.
Maybe?
I guess
There
so.
were a lot of talking animals involved.
Yeah.
Okay.
There,
Again, weird things in this forest.
there is also a bandit group, so keep your wits about you.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that was years ago.
I suppose we don't know.
Hmm.
Let's find out.
All right.
Into the woods.
And out of the woods.
Happily ever after.
I can't hit those
Any
notes
luck?
anymore, guys.
So, funny enough, as you were mentioning woodland creatures, a little raccoon comes up accompanied by a fox in a hat.
So it's just in the air then. Okay, good.
Speaking of,
Jewel curtsy. Hi.
Sort of waves at the fox.
Well, the raccoon sits back on its hind legs and does that,
good.
and then
good.
turns and starts they both trot along.
Oh, turn on the ring then. Oh, wait. Are you Bolin?
No.
Insight check.
Do you know Bolin?
Or just ask them if we're supposed to follow them. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah,
Are we
ask for
supposed to
directions.
follow you?
Kyola said to come find people who looked lost and bring them to the house.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's us.
That's fine. Yeah, yeah.
That's us,
all right,
guys.
yeah.
Wonderful. All right.
Okay, yes, we're following.
All right,
Follow
we
the
pack
woodland
up, we have a snack, we carry on our
Yep.
way.
Follow.
All right.
Scotty relays to Bjorn everything that Solon shared with her last night about Iona. and the legend.
I guess that tracks. So you think it's real then?
It's kind of hard to believe, but it's still, I mean, wouldn't be that shocking. She's always been like a really big badass in the village
True.
and everywhere around, and she always said,
Well,
"Dad
if you
made
were
her
going to
laugh."
settle down to hide from or to choose a quieter life, you might as well do it in Mulafel.
That's true, and it explains why she picked Mulafel. Nothing happens in Mulafel.
That is the point.
Seems like quite a lot of things have happened in Mulafel. I'm just putting that out there.
Nothing
Seems
has
to-
happened in Mulafel. Nothing.
Scotty,
It's boring. Very boring. It's dull.
but there was your sister sleeping, and then there was a temporal shift, and then your mother is a Valkyrie, and then Bjorn's got everything that he's got going on, and they were protecting him, and that's kind of a lot. I mean, 4 things is a number of things, which would suggest things do happen in Mulafel.
All right, I'll give you Civ. Bjorn showing up was like the most interesting thing that happened in like 10 years. I'm not going to lie. So we'll give you 2.
Okay.
You were like 13. Of course, it seemed interesting.
It was the most interesting thing that had happened in years. You were interesting to talk to. You knew how to fight. You knew about stuff outside of the village.
True enough, I suppose.
Then Scotty's going to back, and more things are going to happen in Mulafel because that's the nature of Scotty arriving somewhere.
True.
True.
True enough.
Coming back as a
More than enough
badass.
trouble, yes.
That's not the trouble. It's the champion. Okay.
I would say Siegfried was
Also-
responsible for some of it.
I don't know anything about Siegfried.
Well, now you do.
That's-
The three of us were
Siegfried meant
the
I got
nightmare.
2 votes against Bjorn.
Yes.
Annabelle, what's your passive perception?
Let me check. My passive perception is 20.
That's what I thought.
Damn!
Yeah.
Rogues.
You're walking along and there like the forest.
Now imagine if I took
has
the
a-
observant feat.
Oh god.
Boy, you want it.
Do it, do it,
Outcome.
do it.
Carry on, sorry.
The forest just seems different. There's birds singing. Honestly, it's a lot like Sleeping Beauty Forest up in this business. Like, it is a fairy tale paradise almost.
Ah. All right.
But then the hair on your arm starts to stand up.
There it is.
And you feel like there's static in the air. And then things get a little bright and overly saturated. And as
Hold on,
you're
stop. Do you all see that?
All right, something. Are we actually saying that, or are we supposed to not be saying that?
As you all look around, you start to see it. And the trees themselves seem to elongate and twist. And it almost gives you that, like, that wobbly, almost nauseated but not quite, disorienting feeling. Or like when you go on a roller coaster and there's that moment of the first drop and you feel yourself go weightless. It's kind of that feeling. And then there's a crack. And everything seems like it goes back to normal.
That was odd.
That was weird. You're muted.
Is there anything behind us if we look behind us?
Doesn't appear to be anything behind you.
We take 2 steps back. Does it do it again?
It does not.
Weird. Like it feels like we walked through something, but it's not there.
Do the animals we've been following seem phased at all?
What animals?
God damn it.
Oh no, we lost Nopolin!
God damn it.
no.
Brick.
Shit.
There's definitely something odd going on in this forest.
Scotty pulls out a coin and she spins it and she watches it to see if it falls down or not.
It continues to spin.
Oh, that's weird! You guys see this?
Well, this is, I think, the thinning of the veils is doing that.
Yeah.
Poke the coin. Does it like move in air or does it just stop and fall?
It stops and falls.
Oh. I pick it up and hand it back to Scotty.
Thank you. Puts it away.
Sorry, I thought it would move like a ball.
I've been really cool though.
Yeah.
Bjorn hands Sullen a copper.
Dylan flips it back and forth between his fingers.
I was getting out ahead of the joke. Never mind.
That's thank you. Yep. I mean, if you're just going to keep paying me, then like, I'm not going to say no.
Is
what
there
exactly?
anything weird in the peripherals?
As you think that, you see smoke coming from a chimney and a friendly looking little cottage with a bright red door.
That's why. And Annabelle's gonna start in that direction with, like, doing the focusing on not looking directly at it thing. Kind of like keeping her eyes, like, mostly on, like, where she's walking so that it's in, like, the upper periphery.
Walking behind Annabelle and following
Follow
her.
her, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As you you're able to climb up, there's a porch. Like you're able to like carefully navigate, but like you'll step up. It's a wooden porch. There's 2 rocking chairs on the front porch. You swear you see like a little squirrel kind of scurrying up the side and up the thatched roof. And kind of back around the side of the house, you see a dog, but then it's gone. But then it's back. But then it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
And Scotty, a dog just licked your hand.
Oh my god! Reaches and pulls out the pocket bacon.
It
Holds it up.
gratefully just.
Oh,
You do
who's that
notice
cute
that it
little
has
boy?
like exceptionally large, like long, pointy, Scooby-Doo style ears, but like longer.
Oh.
I'm knocking on the front door.
The front door swings open. And standing before you, holding a cane, looking like has a fairly messed up foot, an eye patch. And you know how dogs their muzzle starts to go gray first, and it gets all speckly, and then it goes up and through the eyes and the back. You have Kyola's fur getting gray and salt and peppered, speckled, and where there once were brown dreadlocks, was it brown?
Yeah,
Yeah.
dark brown, yeah.
They're now silver. You also see around her neck is what looks like a little necklace, maybe like a locket. There's similar garb to what she wore before. She doesn't quite stand as tall as she once did. She's a little hunched. Kind of that hunch that naturally occurs with age. Knife on her belt. A slight, like she's still skinny, but you can tell that there's a little bit of a paunch to her belly. And she stands there. Well, it's about damn time.
Scotty's just hugging her, like going right in.
Oh,
Hello to you too.
shit.
You're okay.
Well,
You're alive?
oh. Yeah. Yeah. You lot don't seem like you changed.
For us, it hasn't
No,
been all that long. Is it different for you?
like a
Fewer
few
years
months,
for me,
maybe.
but
Maybe. And that's with weird time shit for us. But
Well, you know, fairly certain I have at least one kid about your age.
Congratulations.
congrats.
that's weird. Congrats. Yeah. Still weird.
Well, come on in. Let me fix you some tea. Niall's taking a nap right now, so.
Oh, this is our friend Cher.
Hello.
She's not a human.
We met her after you
No,
left. Yeah,
vampire. Then just like turns and.
yeah we kind of.
Yeah.
Well,
Does
I
that mean you have
mean,
to like invite her in?
you have to
or,
invite
like...
me in. I just walk across this threshold after saying that.
The cottage is cozy and filled with all manner of plants from this world and not from this world, and all different kinds of pots and pottery. And Kyola is going into the kitchen. There's this nice.
Any of the plants look oddly familiar?
What are you going for here?
Scotty's been hopping through a bunch of different places, not knowing she's been hopping through a bunch of different places.
Okay. Yeah, make me a history check.
14! Got above a 13.
Nice.
That's my other highest.
There's definitely some ones that are of a like a vibrancy that strike you almost as Feywild, and then there's also some that are are almost in grayscale. Kind of some like black roses that have some gray quality to them. Some that are hard to place, some that seem familiar, but you're not really sure why.
Thank you.
And Kyola goes over to the stove, puts some a kettle on, and yeah, the house is warm and well lived in, and very comfortable, but nothing really ornate in there. Not a lot of wealth, or like things that most people, it's filled with, if there are knickknacks, they're in the potted plants. They're like
On your rock.
yeah. Shiny rocks and like
A lot of shiny rocks.
and glass and like maybe even like glass creatures in the pots, and they're everywhere. And as you're looking, there are animals everywhere, but no like weird animal smell. It smells nice and floral, almost like just like pleasant candles have been burning, or fresh flowers, or no, it's more of like a warm scent than just regular florals to flowers. You also see, like, as I mentioned, there's like squirrels, and there are raccoons kind of going in and out like they own the place. And she's yelling at them, shooing them away and whatnot. And yeah, she makes you some tea and then sits down at her little table. So, I kept some things safe for as long as I could. I kind of figured we were in the clear.
Well, it seems life has been kind to you. I'm glad.
How long ago for you did you tell us that something got stolen?
I mean, I feel like it's only been a couple of days.
Okay, just checking, because like that's just making sure that it lines up. 'Cause considering
Time
everything.
does get a little...
Yeah.
Like what you did to the place. Looks a lot better than last
Yeah.
time we were here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a number of years that I've been here. Kicked Omakasa's out.
Good job.
Well, the forest seems much better for it.
That's right. I always did want to cure a forest.
You did a hell of a job. Looks a lot better. It's
Thanks.
pleasant travels.
There was a weird Fey-wildy spot.
That's been happening a lot more.
Okay.
Maybe it's just part of the veil thinning.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
We're still working on that.
For keeping something for so long. I know we didn't really know each other for very long, but actually you weren't there for a big bit, but something has my brother in it. and I thought I'd killed him.
You thought you killed something or your brother?
They're the same.
Your brother's a good wingman.
He would be very delighted to hear that.
It's likely his soul or something similar to it inside something.
How long has it been since you left us?
Oh, jeez. That's gotta be like 70, 80
Years?
Maybe it's closer to 90.
Have you spent all that time here?
No.
Yeah, no, you've got Feywild and like Shadowfell shit here.
Yeah. Well, after Anile and I left you, we didn't get down the road very far, and then Natasha came and got us.
Natasha?
Yeah. So we then worked with her for a while. Did some stuff in the Feywild. Did some shit in the Shadowfell. Nine Hells was pretty fun. Scary. That's where I got this. And pulls up her pants leg, and you see this like gnarled burn on the leg that's just like looks really painful and almost looks like it's still fresh, which is surprising.
You just get back from Nine Hells?
Oh
That still looks
no,
fresh.
that happened many a year ago.
Oh God.
And shit.
And then at the same, like, as she like puts her leg back down, she reaches for this like long, like Gandalf style pipe and starts just like hacking it up and lighting it.
We saw John, the bear, on the way in.
Oh no, I mean, that's Steve. The bears just smoke here. It's
All
Your
right.
influence?
Yeah, clearly an excellent influence on these animals.
I mean, they seem pretty happy.
Do you have a problem with it?
Well, no, it's not. It seems like they shouldn't be smoking just as a general rule, but like as long as I guess they're living their best lives. What are we doing with this ball? And just the brother. Just complete shift, trying to get back on track.
Fair, yeah. What exactly happened? How?
Well, I'm not as spry as I once was.
You're an old lady, yeah.
I mean, watch it. I can probably still kick your ass.
Yeah, probably.
And then, like, well, things have been really quiet for a really long time. And I really haven't left this forest other than to just go to town every now and then, get some supplies, come back, and I came back and there was a giant owl here. That owl.
Seems familiar.
The one from that tower.
Yeah, that one.
We've had some dealings with that owl since then.
Yeah.
I could
So they
see
came back to
through.
find her there.
I could see through the illusions.
And you think it was Vosmir?
It's weird. Like, I'm used to seeing Fae shit. But it's as if, kind of like seeing this house. If you're looking straight at it, if that's what you're looking for, you don't see it. It would shift back and forth between the owl and what I recognized as Vasimir. As if they were one being or not one being. Almost as if they're both fighting for foothold.
I mean, that tracks with things that we've been told, that she's sort of the owl and sort of not.
Is there a difference?
Yeah.
Who you saw more of if you looked directly at versus if you tried not looking directly at them?
I didn't get much of a chance. Because I came upon her as she was leaving.
Well, what happened?
I made the choice to go and check on Anile and make sure that they were safe instead
course.
of pursuing. And then I contacted Scotty.
I'm glad you did.
Yeah.
Do you remember what direction the owl went or anything about its leaving that might be helpful in some way?
I know a bit of magic from my time in the Feywild and when I was working with Natasha. And she gets up, puts her cane, takes heavy steps using the cane to support her weight, and goes and grabs this kind of amulet thing. It's got what's the word for that? The like is it diachromatic, the glass
Oh,
that's got
the glass?
yeah,
Yeah.
where it's like almost got like kind of like a weird metallic-y sheen to it.
Dichroic.
Yeah.
Dichroic. Yeah.
It's like
Yeah, Decra.
like a little pendant that has that with like red and almost like green or greenish yellow behind it. And she puts it down in front of you, and I've spent enough time with something that I was able to craft this so that when you're near, it will pulsate.
Thank you.
I'm fairly confident that she's taking something back to the Feywild.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
It does.
What about an isle?
Oh, Niall's fine.
Okay.
Glad to hear.
May I ask
Yeah.
what you were doing with Natasha, the two of you?
Well, Anile owed her a debt
Hmm.
for saving her life. Owed them a debt for saving her life. So Natasha needed help because even a powerful being, if you're just one going against other powerful beings, your odds are not great. There's always safety in numbers. So Natasha needed our help. Just extra hands to help out. She's not bad. Just has her own agenda.
How is she?
I haven't seen her in solid like 40 years.
Oof.
We parted ways and she continued on with her quest and
She ever take you
Did
through
she?
dreams?
oh no. Not interested in that.
Okay.
Did you ever go to Valkyr with her?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Some of those. There was a lot of bouncing around from place to place. Especially once she figured out some of the Fey rituals for travel. We could go quite a few places. And if you want, I can get you to the Feywild. You can go see if you can find something.
I mean, I don't think we have any other way to get there. So, yeah.
Just
No,
to circle
appreciate
back, do you
that.
think it's possible to separate the owl and Vasimir, or because is it if we could separate them, would the owl's power be less? Would Vasimir's power be less? Would they both just be equally awful?
My theory is that the owl is looking for a permanent vessel. And the situation with Vasimir is temporary.
That feels right.
I think Shear's right. If whatever the owl is trying to do isn't done yet, perhaps it's possible to stop the owl taking Vosimir as a host.
I mean,
Turning Vasimir into something she thinks is suitable to be a host?
Right. Vafir seemed
Well,
interested
keeping
in
the options
the
open.
same. In stopping it. Perhaps he could be an ally in that particular goal.
maybe. I'm
What name did Bjorn say?
Vafir.
At the mention of Vafir and Natasha doing Fey rituals and remembering Natasha's deal with Vafir, could Scotty do an intelligence check and try and put that together?
Absolutely.
Come on, above a 14.
Come
I
on,
just-
Scotty.
You got +4. You can do this.
Sullen can tell that you're thinking so hard.
17. She's trying so hard.
Take a D4.
The hamster's really.
Take a
Yeah.
D4. Take a D4. Take a D4.
I get a D4. Yay. It's a 4.
Got a
Thank you.
21. Yeah,
So that's a total of what?
That's a great question.
it's a 21.
21.
All right. I will say yes. You You get it. That scene comes back to you. And you get another scene.
Oh shit!
A scene where you are with Natasha and you're in the Feywild. And you're kind of you're looking around and Natasha's having a conversation that you're not really involved in. And you get the impression that you're supposed to just be standing guard, standing watch. But as you're doing it, the sounds of the conversation start muddled, as if like you have something in your ear, or like your ear needs to pop, and then it pops and then it comes in. And the conversation is about curses, and you're like, okay, I'm familiar with this information, and about how certain curses or fey rituals can be used to modify memories, and how when a curse is severe enough to eradicate the entire memory of someone's existence, sometimes a wish can be used to bring it back. And then the conversation moves on to talk about how, you know, the king has a ring that grants wishes. And you see, as you glance over the corner while you're of your eye, glance over your shoulder as this conversation is happening. And you see that Natasha is talking with Vafir. At a separate time. At a separate time from when you like
Okay.
when Vafir makes the deal. So
Thank you for clarifying. Do I have any idea what king they're talking about? It was just generic king.
the Winter Court.
Thank you. Vafir, looking at Bjorn, Vafir is probably not a bad idea to call. At least give him a heads up. But I am pretty certain he made a deal with Natasha, and that's how she learned the Fey rituals. That's how she could start teleporting more around.
What was the other part of the deal? Do you remember?
I think that was the deal. Oh. Natasha owed him a favor.
Yeah.
I never heard that part. That part just clicked. I remember Vafir coming and saying he had to take me back. And Natasha saying she needed more time. She wasn't done yet.
Right.
And Vafir told her that she could make a deal with him. I think what she agreed to was whatever helped her learn how to make portals.
Interesting. I don't know the answer yet, but it sure does seem like everything is connecting, doesn't it?
Yeah, maybe he can help us track her down at least, but it certainly would help Kyle if you can get us into the Feywild.
It would. Thank you.
I can. But you're gonna need to bring me a couple of live boggles.
And what is a boggle, if you don't mind?
Well, the good news is that because the veil between the realms has been thinning, there's a pack of boggles in like the next glade over. They've been hanging out there. Tiny little
What boggle?
creatures. They're tiny little creatures. They have like long arms, big hands, round bodies, pointy ears, sharp pointy teeth. They like to play pranks. Most people know them as the boogeyman or something.
Okay.
They like to hide under beds or in closets and scare children and whatnot. They're slippery little fuckers, but y'all shouldn't have too much of a trouble with them.
What are you using them for?
Well, they secrete oil, and so in order to make the potion, it's one of the spell components for this.
Get them alive?
Lovely.
Yeah, preferably, because
Okay. How many?
Okay.
2 or 3. 2 minimal. 3 would be safe, because again, they're slippery.
Okay.
Ow.
Sometimes they're sticky. They bite too.
Are they
FYI.
very clever, or are they just kind of wrecking balls?
Well, they're small. They're clever. They're just should be fine, but they're
Like me sized or smaller?
Larger than a bread box.
Holds up a hammer for another scale smaller than Annabelle.
I mean, closer to the hammer than.
Alright, that's something.
Listen,
Perfect
sometimes when
hammer
things have
size.
sharp enough teeth, they can be small but still real nasty.
Oh, they're not pleasant.
Let's go get them.
Annabelle's like,
I think.
Small and sharp, yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
One last thing before we go.
Mhm.
How long did it take you to learn the Fey magic that allows you to essentially teleport?
Oh. That took a while.
Is there any way that a very dedicated student or set of students would be able to?
Make a deal with Valfir.
Yeah, you could learn it, but it's gonna take years.
Someone heard you, Scotty.
Oh shit! I was being a shit. Don't listen to Scotty. Scotty's trolling in the corner.
All right, well, we'll get these little creatures as quickly as possible, and
Yeah.
Natasha ever take you to the Winter Court while you're in the Feywild? Did you visit there at all? And you can, if you need time to think about it, we can talk to it when we come back. I was just had memory.
And I feel like I must have
Well, you think about it, and we'll go.
lifetimes ago.
Yeah, your mind just ain't what it used to be.
Take 2 steps back away from Annabelle.
I stay right where I am. Take a sip of my tea.
Your hand is now attached to the teacup.
Oh.
I deserve that. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
All right. And with that, we're going to end the session.
No, I want to go bug hunter.
Let's go get some bugs.
I have a plan and everything.
We're going through the Pokemon tall grass looking for the little.
Pretty
Like
much.
for the little Mike Wazowskis. That's all I
Yeah.
can picture.
Yep, yeah.
That's,
But I'm like crossing them with the tiny dinosaurs from Jurassic Park that just like swarm people.
Yeah! Yeah!
This is what I'm imagining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Such a
follow the
great scene.
crisp rat strategy of doing this at like all the dinosaurs.
It confuses them.
all right. Well, let's go ahead and do our round of shout outs, starting with Dusty.
Hello, everyone. I am Dusty, or Elegant Feather Duster. You can find me on most of the major social media platforms. And I am Elegant Feather Duster everywhere except for on Twitter, where I'm just Elegant Feather. Come say hi to me.
Kai.
I'm thinking about starting Dishonored.
Sorry.
Ooh, sorry.
Dishonored's good. It's good.
It is good.
Kai.
Me? Oh no. Okay. I am Kai. Kyla cosplay on the things and the stuff. I am just mostly here, just hanging out. Also over on the old No Fame podcast. A few of us are doing some stories from the shore, not Null Shore. Fucked it up. All right, next.
Vic.
Hello. I'm Vic, or Vicious Frockery. I make things and stuff on all of the platforms. I have a bunch of Mando stuff to share. I am very excited to finally have photos out of my surprise cosplay that I made for DragonCon. But other than that, it's at Vicious Frockery on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok and Ko-fi. Many thanks.
Nat.
Hello, I'm Natalie, Shield Maiden or Shield Maiden cosplay across all platforms. That's Shield with 2 eyes. You can also find me at Instagram at zelman.arts, where I post my pottery and all that kind of shit. Yeah. That's all I got. Yeah.
Amber.
Hi, I'm Amber, Bedonia Telic or Bedonia Cosplay across the places and the such and the things and the whatnots. Tune into the social media for the Bethany spam because it's coming, because I got photos back. So that's just all my feed's going to be for the next 2 months because it's great. It's awesome. I love it. That's all I got.
Hi, I am Jess or Jessica or Dr. Psychowl, except for on Twitter where I am Dr. Psychowl TV. I have been the DM this evening. Things are happening. Things are connecting. Things are happening. I may or may not be 42 owls in a trench coat.
Nice.
So close. Thought about being 40, but then I was just like 42.
It is the answer.
It is the answer. Anyway, yeah, I'm in Stories from the Shore. Also stay tuned because at some point in time I will be the Southern Belle on WrestleTopia, to be aired on Critical Misses, performed by led by our very own It's Doridla. Stay tuned to social media to find out more about that. I'm not wearing a tank top underneath a shirt, so I'm not gonna rip that off and
Well,
do that.
Yeah, just tear the sleeves off your brand new sweatshirt.
No, I
There
love
we
this. I love it so much. So
Too much of the bit.
no,
No.
but I maybe will end up having a spare t-shirt or two that I have cut holes in it so that I can do the ripped shirt
Yes.
thing. Yeah. So
I just want to see Stephanie coming in with a chair.
steel chair.
Ladder match.
Background folding chair.
Yes. So yeah, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime, we're gonna go and raid Sensei Suplex. So go give them all of our love and whatnot, and we will catch you later. We love you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.